My name's Larry, and I'm not an alcoholic, and I'm not a drug addict, and I did not have any problems when I was in elementary school, middle school, or high school. And I didn't have any problems when I was in college either, and I still don't. I'm an entrepreneur, and that's the truth. Beware of not succeeding in community if you're an entrepreneur. How to find your mentors, peers, and partners when you are an entrepreneur. It's not always easy. However, it is possible. The way that I do it is to be with people I want to be with because I like what's going on with them. That's how I've always done it. And I've been like that since I was 7. So I know how it works and I know how to do it. And as I found methods that allowed me to get into the right places at the right time, I always succeeded. Always. The way that I do it is I pay attention to what I care about and what's going on around me in the society, and then I leap into whatever's next. Because whatever's next is obvious based on interesting people around you doing interesting things. If you're around interesting people doing interesting things, you're going to succeed. If you're not going to succeed. You're going to fail if you're an entrepreneur because you're hanging out with people who aren't going to succeed. They're focused on safety, security, and knowing. That is not a recipe for entrepreneur success. It never has been, and it never will be. Wasting time with the wrong people wasted my time. What I've always done is find the right people at the right time based on where I am and what I'm doing. And you can do the same. It's easier than you think. Who are those people for you? You will know when you see it. When LinkedIn was starting to really become something back around 2016, 2017, 2018, I dived in. Of course I did, even before. What is this? How does it work? How do you know? You start doing it. And then when 2019 hit, 2020, and the crowd showed up, I said, yes, I'm in. And I joined everything. And then when it felt done for me, I'm not talking about for you, for me, it felt done in 2022 and early 23 from my standpoint of it being what's next. I'm like, now I know what it is and I know how to use it the way I want. And it's not going to be my teaching thing. And I'm not going to be in the LinkedIn creator crowd. I know them and I love them and they help me, but I'm not part of it. I don't want to be part of it. I want to be in what's next. I left and I told some of them, I said, your stuff is great. I'm out now. I got to look at what's next for me. Holding on in the group can be a problem. I've never done that. I can't remember a time where I did that. I've always left when it's time. Who are the right people for you? You've got to know. Peers, mentors, and partners is a secret weapon. It's a secret weapon. How we can use that today is shifting rapidly, and that is what's next. That is what's next. Self-organizing, what I'm calling and thinking of as mastermind communities, not mastermind groups. That's not what's next. Mastermind communities, energetic mastermind communities with intelligent people who are expert in what they do, coming together, creating a collective product based on everybody's self-interest is what's next because it's now. I know now. I knew a couple of years ago, but I didn't understand it. I just dove into it and said, "How do I do this? I don't know how to do it." You never know how. You just do it if you're an entrepreneur. And now I know because I see it for me, but I also see it in the marketplace for other people. That's how I know it's what's next. And when I watch other people saying, "Oh, that's interesting," I can see others who are not entrepreneurs who are more following things. They're not paying attention. They're paying attention to what exists, usually because they're getting a paycheck. When you're not getting a paycheck and you got to pay yourself, you got to pay attention. That's how I learned how, because I had to get a paycheck for myself. I had to pay myself. So I got to pay attention to what's coming next and leap onto it fast. Can't wait. Today is when are you going to do this? How about now? Today, immediately. What action are you going to take today? I'm going to take action now. Where? With whatever's coming next. I'm right there. I'm getting in the room. You can't keep me out. No one has ever been able to keep me out. I just find a way in. They don't always know I'm there, but I'm there and I'm watching everything because I got to figure out how to pay myself. Um, there's principles underneath all these things. When you do this long enough, you can see the principles. That's the secret. The secret weapon is in the principles and the mechanisms and the laws of things that always work, regardless of time, space, culture, or society. Get that right, you can't fail. There's three critical principles in relation to being a successful entrepreneur. One, care who. So here's the who. Who should you be around? Who should I be around? What are the principles behind that? Um, look at the people. Do they care about the market? Do they build connections? And do they know themselves extremely well? If the answer is no, you're in a how to improve myself community. Somebody's selling something. And if the answer isn't they care, they're here to build connection, and they don't know themselves extremely well, somebody's selling something to you. You're the sucker in the poker game, buying what worked 5 years ago. Two, what else do they have in common? Honed the same shared desire. They're there for a reason, together as a group. The group has a purpose behind it. The purpose is not to sell you shit. If the purpose is to sell you shit, get out. Hone the same shared desire, meaning the vision for the broader market in the world. They're in what's next. You're in the right place then. If it resonates with you, it's got to resonate with you. When it doesn't resonate with me anymore, I leave and move on to the next thing. Third, they have their own, you and them, everyone in the group can have their own vision, their own values, and their own perspective, and they never expect you to share theirs. If that group has a belief system perspective that you must learn and adopt and then follow, you're in the wrong room. You're in the audience, and the people on that stage have something to sell you. You're in the wrong room. Run. When I move through markets, what I'm looking for is who's real, what's real, what feels creative, what feels like creative energy, and what feels like something with a hidden agenda. When you can see through the hidden agenda instantly, you will know exactly what to do next. And it is run and look around and say what feels right for you. It is virtually impossible today to not find the right place that resonates with you. When I created the environment on my company, the entrepreneur experience, it was necessary for me to transcend my own limited perspective. I had to do that, or I would end up having another coaching business where I'm selling from the stage. And I thought, I can't do that. I don't want that. I was going towards that back in 2022, 2023, early 2023. I thought, I don't want this. I already have a business. I don't want another business like this. How do I go forward? I went forward. I stopped. It was called Solopreneur Inc. at the end. There was a whole bunch of them, but Solopreneur Inc. was the last one. I'm like, I'm done. No more coaching, group coaching model. No more. Done. Figured it out. Not doing this anymore. I'm going to figure out what's next. And that was March, April. I had a few coaching mishaps in March of 2023 that set me back about a month. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to leap off the deep end again into what's next. And the answer was, I have no idea. Creative energy is like that. It's vague. This was the vaguest ever. This was, oh man, you are in the deep end, David Bowie style. David Bowie had this quote years ago, and I was like, is this real or did just Google think this is true? And it doesn't matter because, I know enough about David Bowie where I know he could have said it. Go to the deep end, look around, and then go a little bit deeper, and then go until you can't touch the bottom, but you're still floating. That's true. That's true. And that's what I did for 2 years. And I like the idea of for entrepreneurs, not everybody. Like, this is the thing. Not everybody is an entrepreneur like this. This is what I realized. So Red Pill Pathway is for entrepreneurs like me. It's not for the broader mass market. I want a broad mass market, big, scalable, extensible product. We have it. But if it's just for people like me, it's a little private mastermind group. I don't want that. I want a couple, maybe two coaching clients. Not even, I don't like the word coaching. I'm not coaching people. I'm mentoring based on my expertise and experience and helping them not go the wrong way for too long. And like, don't screw up your family. You don't have to, you do not have to screw up your family. You need a coach. We got coaches on our platform. You have access to all the coaches on our platform. I'm not a coach. I'm an expert in being an entrepreneur, and I can see right away you're going the wrong way or you're going the right way. And I can help you do that. That's how my mentors worked. Art Strokely taught me how to race sailboats. What did I have to do in return? Clean the bottom of the boat. People are like, why are you doing this for this old man? Because he's teaching me all the secrets of sailboat racing for free. I even paid for lunch a lot. Jed Jacobs. How much did Jed charge me? $1,000 a month. I'm not charging anybody more than $1,000 a month for private client stuff. No, I'm never going to do it. I'm not going to do it. $1,000 a month. Jed charged me $1,000 a month. What's your signature method, Jed? He would have just laughed. Like, I don't have a consulting firm. Signature methods are for consulting firms, marketing departments who are trying to get business for the consulting firm. That's the joke. What Jed said was, you have no business skills. I said, what if I built a professional distribution company from a family business from nothing? You mean, he says, yeah, you're self-taught. You're an entrepreneur. You don't have any business skills. Oh, he says, that's your problem. You don't know what you're doing. Oh, you're right. And he showed me because now I'm working in corporate stuff with I'm selling shit to big corporations. And I did that years before, but forget the whole story. The point is, I won't charge anybody more than $1,000 a month for my time because you don't need a lot of it. I have to make sure never to let the wrong person pay me. That was my error back in 2022, 2020. I was letting the wrong people pay me because they needed all this stuff. I'm like, no, go do it. Do what? I don't know how. Wrong client for me. Right client for the Entrepreneur Experience platform. The Entrepreneur Experience platform is for anybody who wants to be able to do the kinds of things that I know how to do in my DNA. I've been like this since I was 7 years old. I have never followed any of the rules in the society ever. The only time I have ever followed a rule is because I thought it would get me something into a private room, a private part. The only time I've never followed a rule ever. My poor mother. There was a moment where neighbors were telling, don't let, this is true. This is true in the neighborhood. It was, hey, you want to hang out? No. Why not? Well, my mom won't let me. Like, your mom won't let you play with me? No. Well, that's weird. What'd you do yesterday? Well, I broke into somebody's house and I went to a Black Sabbath concert when I was sick. And yeah, we bought acid from this biker gang in Des Plaines. What else? What else you want to know? Uh, no, we don't want your kids playing with the neighborhood criminal. I wanted to be the neighborhood criminal. It was fun and I was good at it. My problem was I didn't feel like I was good enough at it. I wanted to be better. There was another guy who was better than me. He'd been to prison in Chicago. I'd only been to jail in Lake County. It's not the same. I wanted to go to prison in Chicago with the cool kids. And I'm not kidding. This is how I think. And a lot of entrepreneurs are like this. Um, maybe not as crazy as me. It's not crazy. It's real. It's real. It's because it's who you are. This entrepreneur experience campus, you're not even going to want it. There's aspects of it you're going to want if you're an entrepreneur because you don't have no idea. You don't know what being in a room with Brian Muka, Louisa, Wendy Watson, hanging around with people like this, with the abilities they have, will change your life. You don't even know it. It'll change everything. Being in a mastermind community will change everything for you. It is impossible not to change. Some may run because they don't want to change. And because of that, we created a For Dummies version. I love For Dummies. I loved For Dummies books. They were the best. Microsoft Access for Dummies. That got me my first reporting structure when I was in my 20s. I had to do it myself. I didn't know what a consultant was. I did it myself. It was a nightmare. I don't think that way, but I did it because I needed it to make the business go faster. Microsoft Access for Dummies. It worked. So the For Dummies is the 90-day quick start. It's not for me. And it's not for someone who wants like real profound, impactful change. It's not. It's learn some shit quick. A lot. Too much. You have to decide. We're going to help you curate it and filter it down. It's too much because it's everything. There's nothing missing. I absolutely decided if this group has anything missing, we'll fill it. There will be nothing missing on this entrepreneur experience platform and this corporation that is going to be, I own it. And I brought in a co-founder, Brian Muka, and the 12 founding members will have an ownership share based on profit sharing of some sort, based on the principles from something I got involved in years ago called conscious capitalism. John Mackey wrote a book. So I joined immediately. I joined all the conscious capitalism stuff and I went to all the meetings. And I thought there's some limits to this from my perspective. So I'm rewriting conscious capitalism as I'm in it. Now I can do it. I tried to do it 5 years ago with my other business. I couldn't do it. It didn't fit. Now it fits. 12 founding partners, founding members, collectively bringing best in class skills in rooms on a video metaverse platform, not Zoom. It's too limited in how it works. On what's next, built into an infrastructure with a company called High Level, Discord, and run through Notion. This is what's next. These are the technologies, and they're very strong, sustainable platforms because they're extensible and scalable, and they're not owned by someone trying to ruin my life. Um, the 90-day quick start is for you if you want a better result. That's it. For self-employment, small business owner, plumbing company, coach, it doesn't matter. Service provider, accountant, entrepreneur that just wants to know how to do branding better. You want to know how to do social media better. You want to learn how to use AI better. Any of that stuff. We have all of it. All of it. You want to work on head trash, take out the head trash. You want to understand technology better. You want to deal with the business stuff. What kind of corporate structure? How do I pay less in taxes? You want to know where to go after that as you're going through it. We'll show you the right direction for you. You can only do that if you're an expert. So all 12 of them are experts, or I wouldn't let them in. We've honed over the last year. So this was a long process. Messy beta. Any entrepreneur has gone through this. You have to. Messy beta, where everyone's like, it's not working. And you're like, yeah, it is working. People are like, no, it's not working. And you have to keep, and at a certain point, I'm like, I'm not going to say anymore it's working because I know it's working. You don't. And I'm not confused about that. So that's the beta. I had to give some people their money back because it wasn't working for them. That's different. And I still have 2 more people I can't wait to give their money back to. It's coming. Then the pilot, which is, let's try this out in the real world. Pilots are interesting. Mine was really interesting. And it ended with me and Brian left. And that was it. Everyone else left. And the minute that happened, we looked at each other and we said, this is great. And then everybody showed up, all the right people. And they're still showing up every day and bringing people with them. That's how entrepreneur pilots work. You weed out what doesn't fit. And people said, this doesn't fit for me. And I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? I had 3 people I care a lot about who are great. I think they're going to join later. But I was like, Darren, are you sure? No. Matt, are you sure? No. Jamal already said no. And I wouldn't take no for an answer. And then I saw him on the cover of a magazine in LA. He posted it. I was like, all right, he's fine. I was like, I let him go. We'll partner. We'll partner later. Mike Ashabaner, he's part of the core group. He's 100% in. When you get to 100%, that's called the right people on the bus. If you're an entrepreneur and you have the right people on the bus, it's unstoppable and it can't be stopped. And if you're in the creative energy of what's next and you've figured it out and you're at the right moment, it's called market timing. Market timing is everything. Without market timing, you got years maybe. You could be 10 years too early. It won't work, but you'll get there. That's what happened with me with this. I was probably 5, 7 years too early with the bigger vision, but I had to learn all those things that I had to go through. And I'm like bleeding money through it, and making money sometimes, but I'm like, it's fine. So the values-based do-it-your-way approach is basically, I'm not telling somebody what their values are. I'm asking them what their values are. And I'm saying, what do you want? So the email that goes out and the 7-day guest pass period is that, what do you want email? It's not a persuasion marketing email. It's an email saying, why are you here and what do you want? And then the response back to them is, we can help you get that. Now you've committed to doing the work for 90 days. And if you're not doing the work, somebody's going to show up in our group and say, hey, where have you been? You said you wanted to do this. I'm not holding you accountable. You're holding yourself accountable. And if you say it doesn't work, it's because you didn't do what you said. You broke an agreement to yourself, and it was pointed out to you that you broke the agreement. So you're the one who didn't do it. And what I'm asking for is nothing. My job is to make sure we don't screw it up. The leader of the group, which is me, the founder, my job is to make sure the product works, that it's good before people come in at scale. And that's what I've been doing for the last year. And I had to stop going to networking meetings and talking to people who didn't understand what I was doing, including people in my own family that had interventions with me. We're worried about, no, it's fine. Honing value-based approaches is very important. And knowing how to avoid division without forcing conformity. For me, that was the key with Brian. With Brian, we figured it out. Avoid division without forcing conformity. That's the problem. That's the problem. So the way people are avoiding division today is they're separating into factions. So this is the men's group. This is the women's group. This is the Christian conservative group. This is the progressive, let's move things forward group. That's a problem for me because I'm past that. So I did men's groups from 2011. The last one was metal, and I dropped out because I'm like, the only reason I'm here is to make my thing work. And there's some great men in that group talking about stuff I was talking about 5 years earlier. I was past, they were going through stuff that I'm an early adopter. And I forget this. So the stuff going on in metal, I'm like, I already did this. Why am I here? I have a hidden agenda. I had to leave. And I got the special renewal price. And I'm like, I'm out. Can't do this. It's wrong. It's wrong. Because I met some incredible people in that group. It's based in LA, world's most successful men. It changed from heart-centered brotherhood to world's most successful men. I would have left anyways because I already did that men's work. So I don't need to keep doing it. You got to know when to leave. What's the right group for you? I created a group that's right to help people get results as entrepreneurs because I know what it's like to be on the outside of the society 100%, where you look at the society and you're like, I don't want any of these hierarchies. I don't want to succeed in any of them. What I want is money, my own way, to do it the way I want. And I did, and I always have my entire life. So there's got to be some reason for this. That's purpose. And that led to this, what I have right now. This is not from yesterday. This is not a work in progress. I'm not 2 chapters ahead in the book. I'm a lifetime ahead in the field because it's real. And I know my limitations. I have a narrow lane here. I'm 1/36th of this product, meaning the entrepreneur experience product. That's a brand brought to you by Red Pill Pathway. And I had to get to that backwards. And I left it. And I remember when I talked to Maria Platusik about it, who's one of our founding members, great at branding. And I can't work with people who aren't great because I know too much about branding. I've been in the rooms with some of the best branding people in the world. So CMO of Gatorade type people, so I can't, or people who they're good. So I can't listen to it. If somebody doesn't know what they're talking about, I can't hear it. Maria knows what she's talking about, so I can talk to her about branding. We don't argue. It's just I listen to her because she knows what she's doing. So she's like, they're going to get confused. I said, I know. And then it came together. I'm like, no, it's the Entrepreneur Experience platform brought to you by Red Pill Pathway, infused with the energy of the founder, Red Pill Pathway, not attached to the platform of the company, which is a C corporation, not an S corporation. That's a pass-through business entity. To me, my pocketbook, Red Pill Pathway, that's my private coaching and my contribution from all those programs. And I have a lot of them, all original creations, nothing new, reformulated through my entire life experience as part of the product for the Entrepreneur Experience platform, which is a compilation, distillation of a mastermind community. It's amazing to me. I'm like, are we done? No. The beginning. I've already got my first local chapter formed, global local chapters. That was and how did I get to that? My drain backed up in my house, and the people who came out knew what they were doing because I didn't allow Google to send me into incompetent companies. And I thought, wow, this is what's next too. People who know what they're doing, working on your stuff, whatever that is, coaching, consulting, plumbing, music, local musicians winning. I live in an area that's special. The Chicago energy moved up north to where I live, Evanston, Skokie. Not Evanston, Skokie. Skokie, Evanston. And then further west, Niles, immigrants, original thinkers, people who came out of the city and said, the school system's too complicated and it's designed for elites. meaning the smartest kids in the city. That's the elite. You can get into one of those advanced placement high schools in Chicago if you grind away starting when you're 5, if you have no money and your parents have no resources. You can do it if you're the smartest kid in the room. Like, "No, I don't want this for my family." A lot of other people where I live feel the same way. Local music again, local cafes. Starbucks is trying to come back, and I'm like, "It's a retirement center for people like my dad who had memory issues." Barnes& and Noble's closed their coffee shop. It's not what's next. It's a drive-through for I don't know what it is anymore. It doesn't matter. Learn more about what's coming into the world next in terms of how to find your mentors, peers, and partners to win, thrive, and impact your market. That's what's coming next for us from us.